welcome in everyone to the Road to RealmFest series, and I am joined today with Yuki Lee Bender. Yuki, thank you for hanging out with me. How you feeling? How you enjoying the metagame these days?
Thanks for having me. I've been enjoying the metagame a lot. I'm feeling pretty excited. New format's always exciting, but Part the Mistveil is a really sweet set. I think all the heroes are ones that I could see myself playing. I've considered each of them at different points, and I keep flip-flopping back and forth, so it's really exciting. Sometimes we get sets that kind of don't do much until later, but this is not that set. This set is shaking everything up. So I'm really excited. Can't wait to go to US Nationals for the calling and then play my own Nationals a few weeks later. Both limited and constructed seem amazing for this set.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from a lot of the top players. Is everybody's kind of like, I did not expect this set to kick so much ass, but it's kicking a lot of ass.
So far, I think it might be one of my favorites.
It is mine. It's my favorite of all time for sure. Without a doubt. I'm just like you. I'm like, I don't know which of the three decks I want to play. I want to play them all. I'm getting all the marbles right now. That's how I'm starting. I'm just like, if I can make all the decks look pretty, then I'll be fine. Let's go ahead. We're gonna chat about limited, a little bit of like kind of a primer, some tips and tricks. You are one of the foremost minds of the limited game here in Flesh and Blood. But before we get into your thoughts, you were in the top 8 of the Realm Rumble last year, the 20K. So we do have this RealmFest coming up in July. Just tell the people, if you want to talk about your experience at the Realm events or why you think they should come and hang out at the RealmFest in July.
Yeah, so I think if you're on the fence about going or you're like not too sure what it's about, you should absolutely check out the RealmFest. It is an amazing time. I think it was easily one of my favorite weekends playing Flesh and Blood from all of last year. There's tons of side events, so no matter what kind of player you are, I think there's something there for you, whether you want to be more competitive or a little bit more relaxed. Everything was super well run. The staff was amazing. The judges were amazing. It was just like ran perfectly. Great prize support, of course. And it's kind of a fun way to get to interact with a lot of the top players, at least from North America. Not so much people coming from overseas, but you get to interact with them in a more relaxed setting that's like a little bit smaller and more personable. It just had this like kind of chill vibe to it that you don't really get at a calling or a pro tour or a US Nationals where everyone's like pretty hyper competitive. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's a great way to play some competitive Flesh and Blood, but also just have a whole bunch of fun.
Hell yeah. I mean, and if that was the vibe at a 20K, then imagine what the vibe would be at the 50K. Maybe for Realm events, as the money and the prize support go up, the vibes just get chiller and chiller. Maybe that's just what we can hang our hat on. But thank you for that. Appreciate it. Now let's go ahead and let's dive into some Mistveil Limited. So I'll just give you the floor at first. If you have some thoughts you want to just kind of bring to the table in what you've been finding within the kind of limited metagame and just tips and tricks in general, and then I might have some questions for you at the end. So take it away, my friend.
Yeah, so I think that this limited set is really interesting. There's a ton going on. It's very, very deep, and I think that people who practice this set for their nationals are going to be really, really rewarded for that. I think one of the key core tenets that I keep coming back to with this set is that your deck needs to be able to use 4 hands on offense, because if you don't, Enigma's just gonna take you for a ride. She's gonna build up all her wards and just keep getting a bigger and bigger board, and before you know it, the game's over. So you really need to be able to consistently convert your hands, and that means that you can't stumble with all red hands. You can't have all blue hands that do like 3 damage. Like you need hands that are always functional, and that's something that I think every deck cares about, and I kind of keep coming back to in this set. So some of the ways to do this is thanks to the Mystic talent, there's a lot of super powerful blues. So some of the big blue attacks are great. So things like the second tenets of Chi. So there's like the Tide, Moon, and Wind that get +2 go again or draw a card. Those are all fantastic blue threats if you're able to transcend. Big Blue Sea is another amazing one. It gets +1 for each blue that you've pitched, so you can pretty easily make this attack for 7 or more. And then you also have the Droplet series of cards that get +2 if you've played another blue card, and pair really nicely with some of the Transcend cards, especially Path Well Traveled, which gives Go Again. So if you play something like a Droplet and then you Path Well Traveled it, you get a 4/0 Go Again out of your blue card, and that's a great way to have like a 15, I'm running around 15 blues in most of my decks, and that's a great way to make sure that even if you have that all blue hand, it still, packs a punch and you're able to keep pressuring. So I think that's something every deck wants to do. But the other wrinkle is if you have too many good blues, New's going to take advantage of that too. So it feels like there's this push and pull of having good blue hands on offense, but also not too good. Otherwise, New's going to take you for a ride. In terms of each hero, I kind of want to give you like a little idea of what they play like and cards to look out for. So New is probably my personal favorite. Her gameplay is sort of all around banishing the opponent's blue cards and stocking those up to play them back at her opponent and kind of like use them against them, and also push sneaky damage with her attack reaction. So she's often playing this like longer game where she's trying to kind of sneak in little bits of damage with the attack reactions, build up this extra resource that is your opponent's blues, and then really turn that against them. Some of the key cards to look for if you're wanting to draft New, or if you're at your Nationals draft and you're wondering, should I be going New? Is she open? Are cards like the attack reactions, so Hiss and Venomous Bite at red are both fantastic. And then the equipments that give you attack reactions are also really good. That's the Silent Stilettos and the Arousing Waves. All of those cards are great signposts for New, and usually if I see those, I'm pretty happy to, switch over to New. To combine with those, you want to make sure you have some good stealth attacks. The best one, of course, is Double Trouble. Works really nicely with all of these reactions that give you 2 reactions out of 1 card. It makes it really easy to turn on the +2 ability from Double Trouble, but other stealth cards are all pretty good. Pick to Pieces, especially good against Enigma, and then Desires of Flesh, especially good against Zen. So that's New. Speaking of Zen, Zen is sort of the aggro deck of the format. He is focused on crouching tigers and making lots of chain links and applying a lot of pressure to your opponent in ways that aren't very easy to block. He's very good at attacking and using large hands, but he doesn't defend as well as the other heroes. He is really looking for strong combo cards, so your Red Key Unleashed, your Pouncing Cheese, even your Breed Angers are really, really key cards for Zen, but you don't need too many of them because his hero ability will let you tutor those up. So you're pretty happy playing, 1 to 3 of these nice red combo cards, and then maybe a few ways to buy them back, like Preserved Tradition or Wizened Whiskers that lets you put a action on the bottom of your deck. You can kind of keep playing the same Zen card over and over again. So I would look for those, and then just good red cards. Your Untamed is a 4/4/1 go again. Your Tiger Form Incantation will give you a Crouching Tiger and give it +3, and it's a block 3. So just good reds, a couple combo cards, and you're pretty much off to the races with Zen. I think a lot of players are gravitating to Zen early on, at least in my area. Maybe one of the trickiest decks in the format is Enigma. So Enigma can be kind of played in a few different ways. She's all about ward and trying to use her ward auras as weapons. So you can try to build up a board and protect it, and that's part of the reason that you need to be able to pressure her, because if she gets to keep a ward for a few turns, you're in a lot of trouble. But she can also have another play pattern where she just lets you hit her wards and use them for defensive value, and then just hit you back with her hand. So she might do like a Waxing Spectre with gets go again because she's pitched a blue, and then hits you with a Battlefront Bastion afterwards, and you're kind of put in this spot where you don't really want to block her damage because you need to clear that ward, but if she goes 4 go again into 7, that's half your life total already right there. So she can kind of like go back and forth between these 2 modes, and I think that playing as Enigma and against Enigma is all about identifying, should I be when is it right to protect the board and just snowball that board, and when is it right to kind of sit back, let the board fall, and then just apply pressure back of your own. So Enigma is really, really interesting, kind of has like a very fluid game plan where things are always shifting, and you're really just looking for a good combination of the go again style auras. So these are often the instants like Waxing Spectre or Waning Vengeance. You can also play cards like Spectral Manifestations, which are great at rebuilding because your Spectral Shield gets 3 counters if you don't have any auras, and 4 go again into another attack is a great play pattern. So that's kind of what you're looking for Enigma.
Dope. Well, thank you. Those are some really great, just general thoughts on looking into all 3 of the different heroes. That's super helpful, I think, for people as they get ready for their nationals coming up. All right, and then I guess final question for you: do you have a card or cards that you specifically are trying to find that you're like, these are my favorite cards to play, these have led me to the most victories, or are you just really like, hey, I will I will let my pod dictate my deck. Or are there any cards that you like? I might go out of my way to make this one work just because I either like it or I feel like people are sleeping on it.
My personal favorite card that I get past and I'm always like really excited about is another card that I mentioned, but it's Big Blue Sea, or Deep Blue Sea rather. It's Big Blue Sky and Deep Blue Sea. That one's the 4 cost that attacks for 5, and then for each blue that you've pitched, it gets +1. I really, really like this card, just as like a play that works well with New's Dagger or Zen's staff. It just pairs really, really nicely with those, and I'm always like really happy to pick up this card. And I think the other card that I kind of have my eye on that I want to try and learn more about is Intimate Inducement in New. That's the +1 reaction where you can look at the top 4 cards at red. I think the red one is like very sneakily good. Sometimes getting to, take a card off the top, you get the banish trigger from your stealth card, you choose the card that you're banishing off the top of their deck afterwards. It kind of does a lot of small things and adds up to be really, really strong. I really like it in combination with the Art of Desire Mind, where you can potentially set up to draw multiple cards off of that by putting a blue in front of it, banishing a blue off the top, you've gained 2 life, drawn 2 cards. It's pretty sweet. So that's one of my pet cards right now that I'm trying to figure out. I don't think it's always good, but I think it's pretty sneakily good. So yeah.
Sick. Well, thank you so much for those thoughts, Yuki. I appreciate you taking the time with me and giving everybody a little glimpse into the format in general. Hope you have a great national season. Good luck at the calling. Good luck at your own Nats. And if you at home want the chance to do battle with Yuki and many other pros, I hope you consider coming out and jamming some games with us at the RealmFest in July. And, that's just the first one of the year. We got a bunch more events coming up afterwards, and it all leads to a 50K invitational tournament. I know you want to compete in a 50K tournament. Fab hasn't even had that many of those, dude. Come out and play. But thanks again, Yuki. Really appreciate it. And have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so much for having me. Bye now.